David French, a conservative commentator, wrote this article for the National Review Online where he basically said, us, meaning the secular left, as he put it, we spend way too much time talking about creationism. We spend way too much time attacking, criticizing creationism. And what he says is, yeah, a lot of evangelicals especially are creationists, but for them, it's a very low priority. He called it a soft priority, as in this is not the thing they're talking about all the time in church. This is not the thing that they obsess over all the time. So why are we so obsessed with it? He basically told us, chill out. This is not a big deal, but you guys make it out as a big deal every time. And he's so wrong about that. So let's talk about why we should be interested in creationism and we should keep attacking it, because this is a problem that's not going away and we need to be very vocal about why it's problematic. First of all, there are members of Congress who are creationists. And if that wasn't bad enough, some of those members sit on the House Science, Space, and Technology Committee. The people who are in charge of making decisions about science funding and the future of science in our country don't accept the most basic principles of science. That should be a problem for all of us. It's one thing if, grandma doesn't believe in it, but when elected officials don't believe in it, we should be freaked out. If you remember from 2008, when they had those big debates with all the Republican presidential candidates, at one point they even asked, how many of you don't accept evolution? And 3 people raised their hands, like they were proud of this. That's ridiculous that 3 potential presidents said, no, I don't believe in science. I think the universe is only a few thousand years old. These are the sort of people who want to get elected to the highest office in the nation. That's why we should be concerned, because this isn't just a small fringe group of people. It's not like it's just Ken Ham in his little bubble in Kentucky. These are the people who make the decisions in our country, who are in charge of billions and billions of dollars, who don't believe in evolution, who don't accept evolution, and that should be terrifying to everybody. Number 2, we ought to be caring about the scientific literacy in our country. French doesn't seem to care that a majority of people in our country are not scientifically literate. In 2012, Gallup did a poll where they asked people, how do you think humans came to be in this world? Do you think God created you in your present form less than 10,000 years ago? Did we evolve with God's help? Or did we evolve naturally without God's help? And 46% of people that they surveyed said that they believe in creationism. The universe is only a few thousand years old. And like another 30-some% said that God guided evolution, and there's no evidence for that either. But nearly half our country said they are creationists. And who are these people? They're not elected officials, not all of them, but a lot of them are science teachers, I assume. A lot of them sit on school boards. A lot of them make policy decisions. When you have a nation filled with people who don't accept basic scientific knowledge as fact anyway, you are saying we're totally fine with uneducated, ignorant people running very important parts of our, democracy here. And maybe, as a conservative, he's totally fine with having an ignorant populace here. But I'm not. I want intelligent, educated, science-accepting people running the show wherever is possible. And that's not a slam on religion. I'm fine with religious people running school boards and all that stuff. But I think if you want to run science curriculums, if you want to write science curriculums, if you are teaching it, you ought to say, yeah, I accept science and what it tells us. Finally, we are still fighting battles today over the teaching of creationism in public schools. You would have thought this ended, decades and decades ago. And even the infamous Dover decision of the Dover School District happened less than 10 years ago. That put a stop to intelligent design in public schools. But even today, there are school districts all over the country that are trying to teach the controversy, a controversy that doesn't exist. Or they're trying to put intelligent design back into schools. Those lawsuits always happen because there are science advocacy groups that are fighting those battles across the country. If David French was right and creationism was a low priority issue, we should not be seeing those battles all over the place. But they're happening, and someone's got to fight those battles. So either he's just ignoring all of that, or he doesn't think that's a problem, and in both cases, he's wrong. As long as we have to keep fighting these battles over the most basic of scientific knowledge, then we got to pay attention where creationists strike. Overall, this isn't even just about creationism. This is about our country's ability to think rationally. And if you can't accept the logic that explains evolution and how it works, and you can see all the evidence and totally dismiss it, I'm afraid of how that's going to play into your decision making with anything else you do. When the facts are right there, and you could look at all that and say, nope, I'm going to believe my storybook instead, I'm really worried about the decisions you're going to make as hopefully a rational human being. I'm worried about that. If creationism really is a non-issue, then I would like to see some more evangelical pastors tell their congregation about how evolution is not a controversy and everyone should just accept it. But most of them will not do that because they know it would create chaos within the church. This is not a battle they want to pick because they know that most of these pastors know that their congregations won't have it. That's why we have to keep fighting this. This battle is not over. Even though the proof has long been verified, the battle's still raging on. So it's not that we care too much about it, it's that we don't care enough about it. This is too important an issue to just let slide like David French wants us to do. We have to keep criticizing creationism and fighting back against it whenever we see it and whenever it comes into play. My name is Hemant Mehta, and I write at friendlyatheist.com. Please leave your comments below, and we will be sure to check them out.